girls got you climbing up walls. Man, your life is a mess. You used to wear the pants, now you're wearing a dress. You feel like enough is enough, and you're tired of wearing the handcuffs. Cause you no longer run your own house. You wanna be a man again. Come and join Mouse. Mouse, 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 Mouse. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mouse Show.
You know.
I'm King Ricky.
And I'm Barry.
And today, I have something interesting I want to talk about, man.
What's that?
It's something I've been thinking about for a while. I mean, it's, you know how like life, you go through things you dream about. I've always dreamed about finding some money.
I think everybody's thought about that.
Yeah, I would think so, especially if you ain't got none. You know what I'm saying?
Which is like 99% of the population.
Yeah, because we ain't got no money, you think of all kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But I would like to first say the opinions expressed by me and my brother Barry are strictly the opinions of me and my brother. These are not the opinions of our friends, family, co-workers, employers, or spouses. So, you know what you would do if you found some money?
It would probably depend upon a certain circumstance. Now, is there an amount? Like I would have. What is the amount?
Okay, let me tell you a story first. Then
Okay.
we get into it.
Okay.
My name is King Ricky, right? Mm-hmm. Ricky is derived from Richard. And I always thought about that King Richard the First, who they call Richard the Lionhearted. And so I said to myself, you know what? Maybe I was fantasizing, dreaming of something, but I've always told myself, you are meant to have money. Mm-hmm. And so one day I'm driving down the street, right? And I said to myself, you never know when your money opportunity is going to come. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm driving down the street and I see this bag on the side of the road. And I was like, why is that bag on the side of the road? I said, this might be my opportunity to get some money. And I'm driving right past my opportunity. So I turned around and said, I'm going to grab this bag, man, because this is a little suspicious, right? I grabbed the bag and I'm on my way home. I'm like, yeah, this is it. I'm finally going to have me some money. I'm finally going to be rich. I knew this was going to happen. I get the bag home. I open up the bag, and it's a bag of dog poop.
What? Oh, man, good thing. Well, you didn't reach in there first, right?
No,
you just
I did
opened
not.
it and looked.
Yeah, I just
But
opened it and looked.
When you opened it, did it reek?
Yeah, but it wasn't reeking when I was driving. I was like, wow, man, this is messed up, man.
So it wasn't reeking when you was driving?
Nah.
Did it have like a twisty tie or something like? Was it in a garbage bag or what was it?
No, it was like a bag, but the bag was kind of thick. You know what I'm saying? So
How much poop was in there?
it wasn't a whole bunch. That was just me fantasizing, man. You know what I'm saying?
What was your reaction?
I was mad. I threw that sucker in the trash right away. You know, outside. I mean,
Man.
I was so mad and disappointed.
Dude, I can imagine
Man.
the excitement. I would have been hyped.
I was hyped, man. I tell you, I said this is it right here. It was like, it wasn't even like a plastic bag. It was more like a bag, almost like a bag that you have a camera in or something.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah,
That's why
okay.
I thought there was some money in it.
How much you think was in there? What was going through your mind?
I didn't have an amount. I just said, if that thing is loaded with cash, I'm chilling. But anyway, I saw the story on a Brinks truck one day. They were driving, they turned the corner, the door flew open, and $200,000 fell out.
Holy smokes, this is a big bag of money.
$1,000 fell out of a Brinks truck. And you saw it fall out and you picked it up. Would you turn that money in?
Like, you're just asking me that question for an answer, I would say yes. But there are circumstances involved. Like, you know, if it was, I mean, the Brinks trucks don't be driving around late at night at 1 a.m.
Right.
But if it was a circumstance to where I found it and very few people saw me pick it up and I felt that they couldn't identify me or my car license plate, you know, look, man, I consider myself an honest individual. I pay my taxes. I would keep it. I ain't gonna even lie, dude. But what I would do though is I wouldn't spend it immediately.
Right.
Like if I was in real destitute financial like trouble, I would probably have to be forced to spend it a little faster than I am forced to spend it now.
Well, what if you found the money and you saw on the news that the Brinks truck lost the money? Would you turn it in then because you saw it on the news?
You know what,
30
dude?
days?
Being the fact that I consider myself an honest person, it would probably mess with my conscience. But man, I would still hold on to it, man. I'm serious, dude. Like, and I'm sure that there's information that they wouldn't tell you about probably certain things because they ain't gonna give you everything,
right?
Just in case you went out there and tried to spend one of the bills and the bills were marked. But I would I would probably, if I felt the bills were marked, I don't know if they would take a picture of me, but I would probably have a disguise and go to another state and give them the money and spend it. And
But how would you know though if it's marked or not?
you wouldn't.
Exactly.
So I would probably, well, you wouldn't know, but if it came off of a Brinks truck, you would imagine that it's a possibility it could be. So I would probably just take $100 bill and just spend it in another state.
You go all the way to another state just to see what was going to happen?
Or maybe another county
Because
or city.
say for instance, like, where would you put the money though? Say you had 200,000
In the house.
You just keep it in the house.
Yep.
Dang.
I wouldn't feel comfortable keeping it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Or if I had like a safe place, like I have a storage unit, it'd probably be safe there.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Man, that's a really hard question. I'm gonna tell you right now. If I saw 200,000 fall off the truck and nobody was around, I'm keeping that. Period. But I don't know if it's like you said, if it's marked or not. That's the only thing you got to know, because you got to think about what would you do. Because would you buy you a car? Would you, go grocery shopping? I mean, would you
Like-
buy some jewelry? You know what I'm saying? Like, what would you do with 200,000?
Like it's just me. So my life is cool like it is, man. I would just hold on to it for you know what, dude? I was thinking about this as I was like typing up information on this topic, and I was like, you know what? I would probably wait a year before I even thought about spending any of it. That's probably the longest I would think about waiting before I even took one bill out and spent
You
it.
don't think it'd be hard to hold on to it?
I know it would be hard, but I think I'm disciplined enough to where I could wait there, because there are some wants and there's some needs.
Right.
And my wants, I can hold off on. I'll held off on them this long.
I was wondering something. I was like thinking in my mind. Say if it's like you got a little bit of money in the bank. Say you got like $6,000 in the bank or something. I wonder if you every week deposit $200 or $300 of that money and keep doing that, would they get suspicious or anything?
You know what? I think so.
You do?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
If you got $6,000 in the bank, you think $200 once a week is gonna be suspicious?
Well, 200 once a week?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. $200 or $300 every week. You go put $200 or $300 in.
For how long?
Just every week, you just keep doing it.
Until all the money's deposited?
Well, a good amount. Let's
What's
say
a good
half of
amount?
it.
And
Let's say
half of what? Half of how much?
100. But until you get to 100, that'll take a long time though. That'll take some years. But I'm just saying, like, that's just an example.
That might not be suspicious, but man, ain't a lot of people depositing that kind of money consistently.
You don't think so? 200 or 300?
In a bank, because most people would probably put it in some kind of annuity or an investment. In a bank where it's just going to sit and get less than 1% interest,
Right. Oh no,
I don't
think
know.
Most people do put money in the bank. I don't think most people think about putting money in other places. Most people don't have it. So the average person is just putting their money in the bank. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I thought about one day? Did you see that story about that guy Whitey Bulger?
Yeah.
And you know how he was in Santa Monica?
I heard. Was that really him?
Yeah, that
It
him.
was.
Yeah.
So he lived here.
Yep.
Okay.
But I was thinking about that one day. This is like not really finding money. This is more like stealing money. If I knew Whitey Bulger was in Santa Monica, I would have went and robbed him.
You being serious?
I'm being serious, man.
Oh.
You know why?
Why?
Who's he gonna tell? He's a wanted man.
Don't you think he has splinters of people who he can call and try to see who you were?
That's gonna be kind of hard because first of all, that dude was like 80 something years old. I think you could have easily got him, man. But they say he had like $80,000 in his house. That's what I would have got him.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, because I do remember hearing he did have an apartment in Santa Monica.
Yeah,
I thought it was like 800,000. It was 80.
yeah, it was 80.
Okay.
If it was 800, that's even better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if I remember correctly, it was 80. But just imagine if you could have got him for 80,000, scotch free, and nobody knew.
Wow.
You couldn't tell the police.
That's almost like that's a flawless plan, darn near.
Exactly, because like even if he knows some people, how they gonna know even where to look and who to look for and all that? In a state as big as California.
The only way is if he had people telling him to watch out for him.
Yeah,
That's the only way possible. Outside of that, yeah, it would have been pretty hard for him to find out.
yeah, I would have probably had to get him, man, because I don't usually be trying to rob nobody, but that case right there, yeah, man, I would have had to go on and do what I had to do for that one.
Man.
He would have got it, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, but nah, man, if I found some money, though, I'd be thinking, I don't know what I would do because, sometimes they say you got 30 days for somebody to claim the money. right? So you know the Brinks people gonna claim it right away. So I was like, dang man, would I even turn that money in? I really don't think I would though. But how do you get away with keeping that kind of money and still not getting busted for it? Because you don't want to go to the federal penitentiary either.
Yeah, because it is federal money. With the Brinks. You're right.
And they gonna be looking for it for real.
Yeah, they are.
They ain't gonna stop looking either. That's the only thing about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you guys like to get some money? What
you-
about leading to?
Yeah, man. If y'all, you might have some better suggestions than we do on what you would do if you found some money. So what you need to do is you need to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Mouse,
Exactly.
ENT, YouTube.
Because if I do find some, I might share some with some of y'all.
You know, they ain't gonna turn it down either.
They ain't gonna turn that down. I'm like, you know what? You are the 1,000th, 2,000, 3,000, whatever it is, subscriber. I'm gonna look out for you and give you some money.
Then nobody ain't turning that
They ain't
down.
turn that down, man.
You know, it's crazy, man, because like of course, what they're going to tell you to do if you found money, a substantial amount of money, they're going to tell you to contact your local law enforcement.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, they're going to wait 30 days.
Yep.
But you know, it has to be somebody who has, who can get to that money and take a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, come on, man. Like, the police department is corrupt in the first place.
They are.
So you mean to tell me if you turned in like a certain amount of money, if it wasn't Brinks, but if it was like you turned in money that you found, you actually believe that, you know, they ain't gonna tell you that somebody didn't find it?
Yeah.
Come on, man. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't know for sure, but I'm kind of pretty sure that they're not gonna be like, nobody claimed this. It's all yours.
Exactly.
You ain't never hear that.
You ain't gonna never hear that. That's crazy though, man, because remember I did that when we did the show about corrupt police, I said that that dude had found, you know, took some stuff out the evidence locker and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, you know, a lot of them, if they found out about it, what if, like, say for instance, you said, well, I found this money, you went to the police, and he said, well, you got to give me 20 or 30 and you keep the rest. What you doing?
You know what, dude? Like, I don't think I would, because I don't trust them. You know, he would probably try to find a way to turn it around. I don't know.
Get the whole thing.
Yeah, man, I don't trust them, dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust it either, man.
And a lot of them, you know, they make average salary. So what would stop a lot of them from trying to keep some of it or do
Yeah,
something?
That's true.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think I'd trust that too much either, man.
No, I wouldn't do.
You know, but I think, you think the average person would turn the money in, or do you think the average person would keep it?
Actually, it's interesting because, you know, I have a part of the bonehead coming up is about something like that. But most people, I think, are actually honest, hardworking people. And most people do have some kind of a conscience. And I think most people would actually turn it in. Most people, I really believe like over 90% of the people would turn it in.
90?
I believe so,
Not
man.
if they from the hood.
I hear
Believe
you.
me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For real. Man.
Yeah.
So you said you had a little something, so what's coming up?
The bonehead segment is coming up.
What is it about?
Oh man, you know, I actually had to keep this one topical. I actually had two, but I know you usually only like one. But the one was is a story I didn't know about, so I had to have a feel good one too. So I don't know if it's okay to do two or if you want me to just do one.
Go ahead, man.
All right,
Do your
man.
thing.
Yeah, man. So this guy, man, he lives in Long Beach, right? You know, he was in credit card debt, business was failing, about to get married, and he had a sick mother. So one morning he was on his way to work. He owned a landscaping business. One morning he was on his way to work, found $144,000, a bag of cash, right? His first reaction, of course, was to keep it for himself. Some of his problems would be over with, right? Well, then, you know, reality set in. He had a good conscience, got the better of him, so he contacted the local law enforcement agency and turned it in. Yeah, man. I was reading this, and I was like, oh, come on, man. So, yeah, the money fell out of a Brinks truck, man.
Oh,
and they
just like I
gave
was
him.
saying earlier.
And
Okay.
guess how much they gave him for a reward?
$1,000.
Close. They gave him $2,000, man.
Wow.
Yeah. And I know some of this money in some cases could be covered by insurance.
Yeah.
So come on, dude. All y'all gave, if you wouldn't even got none of the money back had he not even returned it. $2,000 is all?
That's it.
That's crazy,
That's
dude.
messed up.
Man, that's to me, man. Look, there are no Christian billionaires, dude. Like, you can't be a Christian billionaire in this world without stealing, robbing, doing something to bend the law to get to where you are.
Yeah.
But regular people have some kind of conscience about stuff like this. Billionaires don't have no conscience. They'll get laws passed in their favor. They'll do whatever they have to do so their business will
I
survive.
sure will.
But regular people want to be all like, billionaires don't care.
They don't care. That's
So-
why they billionaires.
Yeah, man. So look, this guy seems like a really good guy, but I had to give him the Bonehead Award. I had to, dude. And since this story would kind of depress me while I was reading it,
Right.
I had to have like a feel good story about money.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever watched this show called Storage Wars?
Yes.
You ever heard of it?
Yeah, I watched it.
You might have been familiar with this story then. Well, there was a guy who had purchased a storage for $500 and there happened to be a safe in it.
Okay.
So he hired like 3 people to break open the safe, and the 4th person finally was able to break it open. And guess how much money was in there?
If I'm guessing, I'm gonna just say something like 30,000.
$7.5 million.
No.
Yes. $7.5 million was in that safe, dude.
How big of a safe was this?
It was probably whatever
That's
something
a lot
big
of
enough
money,
to.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen that amount of money, but I can imagine it must be a hell of a lot in
Wow.
bills. But it was and I remember he bought the storage for $500 because somebody abandoned it. They walked away from it and stopped paying the bill. So after 3 months, somebody could just come buy it and all the contents in it.
Wait, I don't get it. If you got $7 million in the
Mm-hmm.
storage, how you couldn't pay the storage?
I don't
You
know.
was going there and grab some money out.
I don't know. That's real talk. That's a good one. I didn't think about that, but that's a good one. But yeah, man, so what wound up happening was the story made the news, and the lawyer who represented the person who let the storage unit go contacted the guy who purchased it and found the $7.5 million. So they actually reclaimed the $7.5 million. But guess how much they gave him as a reward?
100,000.
$1.5 million.
What?
That's why I had to have a feel good story about finding
That is
some
a
money.
feel good story. I wish I would have
Af-
found that.
Yeah, man. After that first one, dude, I was like, dude, I gotta find a good one because, man, look, dude. I mean, it has to be a good story about this.
But the second one's not really a bonehead.
It's not. But I just had to have something, dude. A feel good one, dude.
Man, that's a good little come up right there.
That's-
1.5.
$500 for the unit, and you got $1.5 million.
But you think those? I wondered about those storage wars things. You think they're really real though? Because I was
It's
wondering about
TV.
that. Yeah,
It's TV.
that's
So
what I was
there's
sometimes I'll be like,
probably
I don't know.
it's like reality TV. It's not really reality. They're
Yeah.
scripted.
I kind of
So-
that's why I kind of stopped watching them.
Yeah.
I start questioning if these shows are even real.
Yeah.
But if that's true, that is a good story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't mind getting 1.5 out of 7.5.
Yeah.
That's what you should do for somebody though. But like I said, it makes no sense to me that you got that kind of money, but you couldn't pay your story like that. That's what made me wonder if it's something fishy. You
Yeah,
got
I never
all
thought about
money
that.
in there, and you just gonna let it go, and you know you got the money there.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, I'm about to lose my storage. You can get money from anybody. You be like, hey man, just how much is storage? A couple $100 a month.
Couldn't be much more than that.
You know what I'm saying? You can't borrow a couple $100 and be
Yeah.
like, man, give me $200 a day, and I'm gonna give you $400 Friday.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna give you $200.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't gonna know what it's for.
Nope.
So
That's
I
hell
don't
of an interest on money, man. You let them
Sure.
borrow 200 and you get 400.
For real.
Banks ain't gonna never give you nothing like that.
Sure or not. So I don't know about that one. If it's true though, it is a good one.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you would not turn the money in?
I have to say no. I wouldn't. I would hold on to it, man. If it got to the point to where, I know that it's a federal crime and all that, but I don't know, man. If it got to the point where I felt they were getting close, I'd go dump it in the ocean or something.
Yep. I'm telling you now, I wouldn't turn it in. I'm telling you that right now.
Right.
I'm keeping. I mean, I'll figure out something what to do with it.
Yeah, I hear you.
So anyway, y'all, I'm so stuck on this money I can't get out.
I mean, I can't. I mean, dude, it's kind of everybody's like, I know money doesn't cure everything. If you're sick, money is not going to get you healthy, but man, it'll make life a whole lot easier.
A whole lot easier. But this is the thing that makes me mad. I hate when people say like, rich people, well, money doesn't make you happy, but they never give their money away.
Mm-hmm.
If you are rich out there and your money's
You
not
got a
making you
point.
happy, and you need to ease a burden off your shoulders, slide me some of that money.
Yeah.
It'll make me very happy.
A lot of people very happy. You know what's crazy about rich people too, man? What tripped
What's
me
that?
out is they always talk about giving their money to charities. They ain't gonna give it to their kids. They ain't gonna leave it to no kind of legacy, or if they do, they're gonna leave a certain amount. Like
Yep.
one of these billionaires, they might be worth 180 billion,
Yeah.
but 170 billion is gonna go to charities,
I
and they
know.
might split the rest between kids and whatever else.
But let me ask you this: do you think their kids be knuckleheads? Is that why they saying that, or why do you think they do that?
In some, well, they're the problem that they probably knuckleheads, but in some cases, yeah, I think so.
That could be part of the problem. If your kid's a knucklehead, you don't want to leave your kid no money. If your kid's doing the right thing, you ain't gonna mind.
At the end of the day, look, I don't have any kids, so I can't speak on that. But at the end of the day, man, if you super rich,
Right.
you can't leave your money to enough people. Somebody gonna trick it off.
Somebody is for sure.
That's just how it is.
Even the people that you say in the charity you leave it to, there's no guarantee they're gonna do the right thing.
Nope.
But I can't see myself giving a charity a lot more than I give to my kids. I at least gotta give my kids a decent amount. Even if they knuckleheads, I'm still gonna give them a decent amount to where they're straight. Mm-hmm. No matter what.
Yeah,
But that's just
I
me.
think that's the only right thing to do.
Yeah,
man.
I would want to make sure my family and friends and kids, everybody close to me, is good.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Before I'm giving money to people, I have no idea who they are, what they're gonna do with it.
that's my point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'd rather do that. Mm-hmm. So you guys that would keep the money, hit us up and let us know in the comments. And if you wouldn't, all you liars, hit us up and let us know as well.
I know, for real.
So we're gonna go on to the thing that I like at the end of the show, which is
Ooh, the 10 Mouse Commandments.
the 10 Mouse Commandments. What's number one?
Man, Mouse Commandment number 1. Please, fellas, please, don't ever let a woman tell you how to drive.
And by the way, these commandments is not about stealing and keeping money and all that. This is about man stuff. So you can go by them other commandments if you want to.
Yeah.
This is the man commandment, 10 mouse commandments.
I mean, if they really knew where those 10 mouse, when those regular commandments came from, then they would probably really follow ours, because that didn't have nothing to do with no book. I can tell you
Exactly.
that.
Mouse commandment number 2. Thou shalt not ever hold your woman's purse while she's shopping.
Unless she had the money in there that she found off
Now,
of a rent
she
truck.
found the 200,000. Yeah. I might hold the purse if we got 200,000.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Man, Mouse Commandment number 3, man, please, fellas, don't ever, even in breast cancer month, ever wear pink. Please don't.
Don't do it.
Not a good look.
Not a good look. Mouse commandment number 4. Thou shalt not ever wear skinny jeans or do not sag your pants past your butt.
Sagging past your butt. I don't.
It's gotten
man.
out of control, man.
Yeah, it's.
You know what tripped me out? This is like not really on a subject, but in a way it is. My buddy Gary, he sent me this thing, man, about this little white kid. He had his pants sagging past his butt, saying the N-word, thinking he hood. And this and and that and this. I'm like, come on, man.
Did
This
anybody's.
is out of control. This is why I don't like this stuff, because people be influencing the wrong people sometimes.
Yeah.
You're doing this type of stuff, you influencing the wrong people who take stuff and go overboard with. You can't say the N-word, you can't say sag your pants, because other people pick up the culture and think that it's okay for them to do stuff that they shouldn't be doing.
I know we will probably talk about that later on, man,
Yeah,
but
we will.
you wonder what the ramifications are of using that word. Like,
Yeah.
it was used derogatory, and it's still used derogatory, but some people might use it as a term of endearment in their community,
Yeah.
right? But now everybody think that they can use it.
Exactly.
And that's detrimental, man.
It's detrimental for
especially
real.
if you have a form, a voice, a platform, and you're constantly using it,
Yep.
that word to make money because you might be a comedian. Not all of them, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
if your kids go to school with other races and you use that word all the time,
Yep.
what if somebody comes and call your kid that? What
Exactly.
excuse can you
And
say?
they're not meaning it as a term of endearment.
No. Like, I always wonder, like, what do they feel like when they use that word on a platform like
know.
that? And their parents, their kids have to go to school and somebody call them that word.
I know.
Oh man, that's crazy, dude. Man,
Yep.
Mouse Commandment number 5, thou shalt not ever say, happy wife, happy life.
And you know what I'm about to say?
Yes, I do.
Plenty of loving makes a happy husband.
Ooh, man. Maybe there's somebody just have the TV watching them because maybe that's what they start doing.
Yeah. I'm
While
telling
watching the
y'all,
show.
And y'all women, jump on this, because if you do that, oh, your man is going to be so much happier.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you will. He will.
Yo, definitely.
Mouse commandment number 6, thou shalt not ever wear makeup, fingernail polish, or women's underwear.
Fingernail polish. Like, who would want to wear women's underwear?
Who want to do any of those things, man?
Who would? That's crazy,
It
man.
is.
Oh man. Mouse commandment number 7: Thou shalt not ever let your woman constantly text or call to check in.
Yeah.
You should not ever constantly text or call your woman to check
No,
in.
you shouldn't have to call your woman on the way to work, in the parking lot, at first break, at lunch, at last break, and on the way home. Something's wrong.
Yeah, something's wrong with
Who
that.
needs that much communication? Didn't you just leave the house before you went to work?
Yeah.
Why you gotta do all that too?
I've had people in the past try to do that to me, man.
Yeah,
you
me
know,
too.
when you get on your break, give me a call. Or when you get home, when you leave work, give me a call. Like you trying to steer me into a direction
Yeah.
that I'm not comfortable in. And then when you get comfortable with it and I don't want to do it no more, then you're going to be like mom say, have your lip all poked out at the mouth. And it's going to be a problem.
A problem. And see, that's just one of those tricks. You can't fall for it, man.
Mm.
Which goes along with Mouse commandment number 8. Thou shalt not ever give your woman the password to your cell phone. Because once they get the password to the cell phone, then you're texting and calling all the time. Ooh, that control is slowly leaving your hands and going into theirs.
And they're slick with it too, man.
They are.
They slick with it. They'll just slide it in a conversation. You not even be paying attention because half the time, you know, at least I know when I be laying up with people, half the time I don't be listening to what they be saying. So they'll slide something up in there and you'll agree to it. And then wait a minute, you didn't know you agreed to something and all of a sudden you kind of like, well, I'm not, but you kind of giving something away that you didn't even realize.
Exactly.
They slick with that, man.
Slick, man.
Man, that's crazy. Man, Mouse commandment number 9: Thou shalt not ever let any woman treat him like a child.
Definitely not. Don't do that. You start getting treated like a child, boy, you done lost the battle.
Yes.
So you might as well just go on and give it in.
I think, man.
Wave the white flag.
Yep. Yeah. I think, to tell you the truth, to be able to get along in a relationship a lot of times, in marriage a lot of times right now, you kind of have to do that. Let them treat you like a child because that's what it becomes. They start telling you what to wear. They start telling you, get up, it's time to go to work. Or ain't you going to be late for work?
Yep.
Or, you know, you wearing that? Or aren't you going to drink some water? I did this like 40 years before I even knew you existed. But now you're telling me when to drink water, when to take aspirin.
Exactly.
So that's what, in order to be happy, I think most dudes have to deal with that.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately. They don't
Yeah.
have to, but they choose to. Because I would recommend they join Mouse Entertainment
Yeah.
and jump on board with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mouse commandment number 10. And this is a big one. Thou shalt not ever. I'm reading kind of slow in case people are a little slow out there. Ever.
I wish I knew sign language.
Yeah, for real.
Real slow.
Make sure they know.
Yeah.
Wife up a woman with a high body count.
Some woman probably just cringed because her dude don't know, but she knows she got
Ooh,
it.
would that be crazy?
Yeah. Some
The
woman out
had a
there
high
watching.
body count and her mind say like, won't they shut up?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what it probably is? I mean, I hate to say it. Some dude be hitting something that's all good to them. They're like, damn, this is good right here.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about the body count because their mind is all discombobulated.
Man, I couldn't imagine not caring about a body count. I couldn't even imagine that, dude.
Me too, man. I can imagine either.
That's
You have to think back on the things all these people have done to the girl before you got to her. Woo. Woo.
man, like man, like to me, one of the most humiliating things that a woman could probably do if she's out there like that is on her knees and everything going in her face, and then the next dude down there who has to wait for it kissing her on the lips
Oh.
after she got humiliated like that. That's
Not
one of the
good.
worst things. So that high body count, ooh, ain't no telling what they going to Dubai and getting peed on and dumped on, man. And then now she wants to find, no. Yeah, it's real.
She's like, give me a kiss, baby.
Ooh. Oh, man, dude. Oh, that's,
Oh,
I didn't want to think
man.
about that, dude.
I always want to let you guys know out there, man. If you're going by these 10 Mouse commandments, you are a very smart man.
Very.
And if you're not, and you want to be a man again,
Come and join Mouse.